So with Planet of the Apes, it's kind of weird. Like I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I've seen the original and I loved it quite a bit. I haven't seen any of the sequels. I saw Tim Burton's remake and I thought it was garbage. But it just always seems like it's like I like the original. I actually like to see like the follow-ups to it. But I've always just thought of it as a fun series besides Tim Burton's remake. And when I saw the trailers for Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I was like, man, that looks awesome. That looks fun. A lot of people thought it looked stupid. And I was like, well, even if it's stupid, it looks like it's like a fun, like summer, action movie or whatever. And it turns out it came out. Most critics actually really like it, and most people that see it really liked it. And I went and saw it today, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But it was actually better than I thought it would be. I didn't think I thought it would just be like dumb summer fun, but it was actually slightly better than that. It has a pretty good story, and it's not just like apes running amok for like 2 hours or whatever. That's only like really like the last 20 minutes. The rest of that is a pretty good, engaging story with really good special effects and really good acting from I think his name is Andy Serkis or something. And who was that in the film? That's the main ape. He's like a chimp. Who was named I think Caesar in the film. I'm pulling this shit up now. I should have pulled it up before. But the way they basically did it is, motion capture of an actor's performance, and then they put the CGI ape stuff up on top of it. So that's how it was done, and he brings a lot of he brings a great performance to this ape, um, who is really I think the main character of the movie. Um, Beyond James Franco. But so if you've seen the trailer, it kind of gives it away, like what it's about. But there's a bit more to it. James Franco is a scientist. He's working at this drug company, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to come up with a cure for Alzheimer's. Um, and he's giving it to they're testing it on apes and stuff, and it works really well. And but one of the apes gets out and they kill it, but it had a baby, and so he's sneaks the baby out of the lab because the guy that owns the company orders all the apes to be killed that were being experimented on. So he sneaks the baby ape out of the lab, and he raises it as a child in his house. And that's who the main ape becomes being. His name is Caesar. And eventually, once authorities find out about it, the ape gets taken from him, and he gets put into like this animal control like shelter, basically like a prison for apes. Um, Lots of cool things um, James Franco. I think it's kind of weird that he'd be playing a scientist, but I think he pulled it off all right. But his story is kind of interesting. Is he believes in this research that he's doing and this drug that he's developing, but his boss is just the guy that runs the company is just thinks about it from a business perspective, doesn't really care about it. But James Franco cares about it a lot because his dad, who's played by God, John Lithgow, his dad has Alzheimer's and he's like living with James Franco and he's taking care of him. So like there's like a real human element to why he wants to create this cure, and there's just a lot more going on here than you would think. Um, and his dad loves the ape too. So when the ape gets taken away, he starts to deteriorate. And I don't want to spoil it, but I probably spoiled it more than I should have. But then, so then basically like this Caesar ape that he's raised, um, basically as a human, and who not his mom was the one that wasn't being given the drugs, But apparently the drugs work better than expected. They not only regenerate the brain, they make it better, and it actually passes on through the genes to the child ape. So this ape is like super smart, and he gets end up like basically stuck in like a prison. The director is Rupert Wyatt, who did a movie called The Escapist, which was a cool little prison escape movie a couple years back. And so that gets put to good use here. Really, I think that Caesar, the main ape or whatever, I keep saying that, sort of the main character besides James Franco. I think he steals the show here, and it's just the section with him in the middle where he's stuck in this animal control shelter. It's like a basically like a prison film. Is really cool. It's really awesome, and you do get Andy Serkis's performance as Caesar is just phenomenal. The special effects are phenomenal as well. You really start to care about what happens to him. Um, and like there's emotional response. Like there's a scene where he gets let out into like the play area for all the apes, and he's the new ape, and like they like try to bully him and stuff. And he's they can tell he's different than them. Like they attack him, and you're like I felt actually bad for this freaking ape, man. Um, I don't know. It's just really good, really fun. It's got a slow build. I felt like some of the beginning could have been shortened. They pepper in a few like action sequences here and there early on to keep you interested, but the beginning is a bit long. It is a bit of a slow build up, but it really is a good like it's just story involving Caesar the ape and James Franco, and like when the ape gets taken away from him because the authorities find out, it's like an emotional thing. It's like he's losing a kid. I don't know. I'm rambling on this one. I haven't really thought it out too well, but basically, you have a pretty good story to begin with. You have amazing special effects where these humans are playing as apes, and it's very good looking. I'm not big on CGI and stuff, but this looked really good. It's done by the Weta WETA. They did the special effects for like Lord of the Rings and Avatar and stuff, but this looks I think better than any of that. You have good special effects, awesome performance by Andy Serkis as Caesar the ape, and just I don't know, just something about that was really cool. Like using an ape as a character, like a real character that you cared about, and went through things like you really cared about him. Uh, that was just really cool. And then after all this build up, you get an awesome like 20-minute action sequence at the end where the apes break out and they're taking over and this and that. It's kind of it's what you expect because it is kind of what's advertised. It's what you see in the trailer, but it's better than you would think probably going in. And honestly, like the last 20 minutes of them just like running around San Francisco and tearing shit up is really cool. Just some great action in it. Um, I enjoyed it a lot, man. Like I thought I was gonna have to be defending this one, or I thought like you know I'd be going into it like excited to see it for some dumb fun, but I might be disappointed. But it turns out the movie is actually very good. It's a bit of a surprise, and you know it's good. It's I don't know what to say, man. It's a good movie. Um, I mean, it's see it for like if you expect to see action throughout, then you're gonna be a little disappointed. But maybe not. I mean, I kind of expected to see like kind of crazy. I expected it to be cheesy and goofy and kind of action throughout. And I actually got something that's pretty different from that. It was actually very captivating and engaging on a story level, and then some awesome like the action at the end is just very fun. These apes running around San Francisco. Um, but I was pretty blown away by the story of Caesar and him being stuck. Like the prison movie that's inside of this is pretty awesome. So I don't know. It's one of the no, not one of the. It's probably the best movie I've seen all summer in terms of like summer movies in the theater. Yeah, I you might be surprised by this, but I actually thought it was more fun, and I think it was a better film than Super 8, which I think is saying a lot. I thought that movie was pretty damn good, but Planet of the Apes, there's something about it that just there's something about primates in general that are just interesting, and and then they exploit that well here in the way humans interact with animals. I don't know, it's just something about it that I really enjoyed, and it had some fun action near the end. I don't mean to keep going on about it. So, other than that, there's some good trailers at the theater. Like, oh yeah, I should talk about the theater experience in itself. The theater itself was packed, and this was Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm kind of like, man, really, people don't. You need to go. You should be looking for jobs instead of I had my day off, but like, dude, it was packed at 4 o'clock on a Friday, and they ate it up. There was one scene in particular that I won't give away, but everyone just was like, hell yeah! Everyone was just like, yeah! I was like, that's awesome. I love when you're like with a good crowd like that and they get on into it. Um, and but other than that, the trailers, like the crop of films that are coming out for the fall, they all look so much more fun than the movies that were in the summer. Like they get summer was just filled with this superhero crap that I couldn't care less about. But the fall it has like this killer elite movie with Robert De Niro and Clive Owen and Jason Statham that looks fun as hell. This one like end of the world like disease movie called Contagion that has all sorts of fucking amazing actors in it, like from Matt Damon to Kate Winslet, like, and it looks really good. I don't know. There just seemed like there was a lot to look forward to in the fall, which is awesome. So, anyways, hopefully I'll shorten up my thoughts on this for our review of it on Movie Dudes. We'll be reviewing Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Cowboys and Aliens, as well as Total Recall and Trust. We're doing a lot of reviews on the next episode of Movie Dudes, so look out for that on vagary.tv or iTunes. Thanks for watching. I know I kind of just rambled on and said the same things over and over, as I always do, but probably more so on this one. But the bottom line is the Rise of the Planet of the Apes is surprisingly good, and you know worth seeing for the story and the special effects and the great action sequence that happens near the end. So, anyways, if you actually watched all this, thanks for watching, and I'll be back to talk about Breaking Bad in a couple days. All right, later, guys.